Episode 315 Breakthrough. Bobby thought he had destroyed the Book of Mystic Wealth, but apparently, the Great Moon Pirate had safeguards in place to keep its greatest secrets from being lost. The book had been preserved within the Great Moon Pirate's source of true spirit. Once Bobby had cultivated the capacity to contain the pirate's true spirit, it had revealed itself to him. It wasn't a physical book, though. It existed in Bobby's spiritual eye and was made of true spirit energy. He was amazed but unsurprised at the ingenuity of the Great Moon Pirate. The pirate had been supremely intelligent and calculating in the design of the bronze crypt, too. Bobby scanned the book and absorbed the information, marveling once again at the power of his left eye. The book contained the skills of the Wicked Realm chapter and those of the Wicked Path. It was essentially an encyclopedia of dark techniques. The book's contents were even more valuable than the knowledge of Bobby's lightning inheritance. The only difference was that the Book of Mystic Wealth made it very hard for cultivators to reach the Origin Core realm, whereas an inheritance helped cultivators progress. Bobby was overwhelmed as he took in the information. He wasn't expecting to find techniques on movement and speed that could balance out some of the weaker parts of his lightning inheritance, which specialized in comprehension and insight. The book had tactics for any situation. I'll choose the best and forget the rest, Bobby decided. With the Book of Mystic Wealth at hand, he didn't need any other skills. He continued to meditate and cultivate in seclusion for the next 2 days. The vital essence continued building in the sky above his quarters, forming an even denser storm cloud. Daya was impressed. Just the energy and aura that Bobby had summoned from the earth while trying to break through to the true spirit realm was enough to think he was actually approaching the true human ring. His aura was so strong for a few reasons. The lightning inheritance was extremely powerful, and lightning was one of the strongest elements in the world, capable of countering most other elements. Also, Bobby's capacity for mental energy was so vast that he could gather more vital essence than usual. In addition, his aura was so strong because his source of true spirit had been enlarged after the Great Moon Pirates had merged with his. On top of all that, Bobby had mastered the Flying Iris Shield, which had been helping him cultivate even faster. His source of true spirit had just begun to gather, but it was already incredibly powerful. The static energy in the air reached its breaking point, and a flash of lightning rushed into Bobby's body with a surge of energy. A clash of thunder and lightning burst from Bobby in a flood. The chaotic, destructive aura rippled across the land for several miles, sending a chill down the spine of every person in the Iron Blood clan. He succeeded, Daya said in awe, watching the thundercloud above the building grow. Bobby's aura was more powerful than one would expect from someone who had just reached the true spirit realm. The event was reminiscent of the stories that had been told of history's most well-known experts' breakthroughs. When Saint Quincy ascended to the true spirit realm, a blinding light had forced his pursuers to retreat. According to ancient records, when the Scarlet Moon Patriarch ascended to the true spirit realm, a mushroom cloud had bloomed across a 10-mile radius, prophesying disaster. Stories would be told about how Bobby reached the true spirit realm. Anyone within a 10-mile radius heard the hum of thunder and felt the tingle of static electricity. A trembling messenger kneeled in the doorway of Bobby's quarters. He cleared his throat before he bravely said, "Sir, one of our lieutenants is still being held at the Fan-Fighting Pirate. Lord Lee and the pirate have said that if our chapter leader doesn't appear within 3 days, they'll destroy the Blue Water chapter." "Go away," was all Bobby said. But his voice boomed, sending the messenger tumbling backward with the force of it. Daya shook her head from where she sat on her perch, watching Bobby cultivate. She knew it wasn't the right time for him to leave. He needed to be consolidating his source of true spirit. Daya was only half correct. Not only did Bobby need to consolidate his source of true spirit, but he also needed to learn how to control and contain his lightning energy. Having broken through to the true spirit realm, the vital essence around him was flowing freely and out of control. As the raw energy arced around him, a lightning mark flashed on his forehead. It was the same lightning mark that he had received in the floating crest palace. Daya didn't know what was happening. If he just broke through to the true spirit realm, his aura shouldn't have been rising again. But inside Bobby, the Great Moon Pirate's source of true spirit was just finishing merging with his own. His energy core had expanded to nearly the size of a cultivator's at true human rank. Using the surge of power from the true spirit realm, Bobby charged straight into the second stage of the lightning inheritance and gathered even more lightning vital essence. The Great Moon Pirate's additional power and the Flying Arrow shield helped Bobby absorb the vital essence and consolidate his source of true spirit. Clouds of lightning a mile wide appeared above the building, crackling with more energy than any true spirit realm cultivator could handle. Orion, the fan-fighting pirate, chuckled evilly. According to his demands, Bobby only had until the end of the day to come up before Lena would be given his worst. The Lee family and Wicked Realm chapter were lined along the border of the Blue Water chapter, waiting for the signal to attack. Lena was burning with anger. She hadn't lost because they had been stronger than her, but because the pirate had used the rare poison taken from the tomb of the Great Moon Pirate. Nal was at the front line among the chapter's best fighters. While they waited for Bobby, they had assembled enough backup from the rest of the Ironblood clan to make their enemies a little less eager to mount an attack. Both sides were just waiting for Bobby. Orion wanted to take back the treasure that should have belonged to him in the first place and shove that brat's face in the dirt. Lord Lee and representatives from the main Lee family were just there to get their vengeance for Caden. Everyone at the border had felt the ripple of energy that meant Bobby had ascended to the true spirit realm. It was stronger than any of them would have guessed, but it was unmistakably the aura of true spirit mixing with vital essence. Niall gritted his teeth, spitting mad at Bobby. He had reached the true spirit realm, but he was still hiding like a turtle. He wondered if it was his moment to take charge and step up to act as the chapter leader in Bobby's absence. They needed a leader more than ever. The Blue Water chapter hadn't been in such a dangerous situation in over 10 years. Even with all their forces, they would barely be able to hold back the two factions. It was running out of time to save Lena, and Bobby was nowhere to be seen. Nal was furious with their new chapter leader, but more furious with himself. They had schemed against Bobby, but had burnt themselves instead. Nal was beginning to think that Bobby was a bad omen, bringing disaster wherever he went. Flooded Lake City, the Wavy Bay Alliance, the Great Moon Treasury, and the capital. Since he arrived at the Blue Water chapter, disaster had found them before they could oust Bobby. His feud with the pirate and the Lees had come back to haunt him, except the two lieutenants who were facing the music instead of him. Orion checked his watch and yelled across the border. "It's almost nightfall. If Bobby doesn't show himself soon, we'll be forced to take our anger out on this lieutenant and then destroy the Blue Water chapter," he threatened. Lord Lee didn't need to speak of his threats. He just raised his hand, and his men took menacing steps forward. The Lee family was a formidable force, so they were respectfully wary of the Ironblood clan but not scared of them. From the standoff at the border, they could see the thunderclouds gather in the center of the settlement, above Bobby's quarters. The dark clouds consolidated, and a clap of thunder preceded a brilliant flash of lightning that could have been seen by anyone 100 miles within. The arc of lightning shot up, taking Bobby with it. Daya smiled proudly and sent a wave of mental energy across the land, transmitting far and wide. "The chapter leader is coming." Every eye in the region watched as the arc of lightning pierced through the sky.